Hello Capricorn, and welcome to your January 2024 reading, and happy New Year to all of you. We're going to carry this reading over a little bit into February as well, just given the release date, my delayed release date. So we will pull in some of the transits that are going on in February as well. So we have a big month astrologically. Mars is in your sign, Capricorn, and we have Pluto leaving your sign, moving into Aquarius for the second time, which is kind of a big deal. And I think it's such a wonderful way to start out a new year. So from my intuitive deck, let's get started. I am kind of seeing a very systematic, planned, kind of organized approach to a lot of things. And I see that there will be significant results with the actions that you take. One of the good things about having Mars in your sign, I actually really love a Mars in Capricorn. It's one of my favorite placements. Mars is exalted, but it's not so powerful that it creates all these problems, right? Mars mixed with the Saturnine energy of Capricorn gives us focus, gives us, an opportunity to be steadfast and to persevere and to dedicate our time and invest into things that are more likely to have longevity, to withstand the test of time, to invest in things that can be built upon rather than just whimsical, flimsy, in and out, flaky kinds of things. Okay, so ensuring that you do have your goals set forward, and they don't have to be huge goals. They can actually, probably it's better if they're kind of small, more manageable, bite-sized goals, but to kind of really take those goals into account and kind of systematically check them off the list in a way that is enjoyable and pleasurable, and in a way that encourages you to keep going. Because we want to see consistency for the beginning of the year with this, not just because it's 2024, but because it's the astrological environment, okay? And there's this whole new frontier opening up for us as Pluto comes into Aquarius for the second time. And I think it's such a wonderful opportunity for us to just kind of do things with the right head on our shoulders. So let's take a look at the, I'm going to take a Moonology card to see what comes out for you, Capricorn. Bring love into the situation. And, this is what I was kind of saying, making it enjoyable. And when I see love with this card, this is a new moon and Aquarius card, I don't necessarily see romantic love. It's just love. Love of life, love of the process, love of learning and developing and growing, and the love that you can have on an everyday type of basis. There's a lot of gratitude involved with that. There's a lot of looking around and saying, okay, maybe not everything is perfect and maybe I don't have everything I want, but there's a lot going for me. Or I have a lot going for me. I have a lot under me as well that I can continue to build upon too. So let's see what comes through with the 9-card block for Capricorn for January 2024, starting with 3 cards. Okay, love to get a 10 of coins. And don't worry, I will straighten out the cards in a second. I feel like that top one. Okay, Knight of Swords. So I am seeing with the 9 of Wands, you being very selective and cautious and being really particular about what it is you invite in, okay? You're probably, this is a great time to have boundaries, especially when you have goals that you want to accomplish, right? Boundaries with your time, boundaries with your energy, making sure you're not leaking anywhere, staying around people who are positive, right? Being around people who are productive members of society, who are doing similar things as you, but being really secure in that boundary and not necessarily worrying so much about, well, this person's not going to like me if I don't do this or anything like that. Okay, because I look at this 10 of coins and it feels as though there is something worth protecting, that there's I guess we could say a gold mine, if I can use that phrase, that symbol. Seems like there's a gold mine in what you're doing. Please do not underestimate the power and the potential profits, whether actual monetary profits or something else. But please do not underestimate the potential of the small steps and the small goals that are underway right now. Because every single little thing that you build is putting together a much, much bigger picture. And that bigger picture is where the vision needs to be. And I'm kind of looking at this Knight of Swords, and I'm almost seeing people. I don't think this is you, Capricorn. This is like people who can't handle it. They can't handle the big dream. This is exactly why you need to have those boundaries, right? Because there are people out there, they don't understand it. They don't understand the work involved. They don't understand the time and energy and dedication that it's going to take. They don't understand what you're really trying to do. And they either want to just kind of attach and let you do all the labor and reap the benefits of your labor, or they're going to scuttle away because it's way too much for them. Either way, this boundary is super important because you're weeding out the people that are going to be next to you, the people that can really be your ride or dies, if you will. It does not necessarily have to be romantic. This could be professional. It can be a myriad of other situations. But I don't like this because it feels weak. It's like a weak character or a weak spirit. It's someone who is maybe chasing the pleasure. They're chasing the get rich quick type of thing. They're chasing something, and it's so completely opposite in values in terms of what you value and what you hold true and important to you. And another thing I love about having Mars coming through our own sign, so for you, this is you, right? When Mars comes in through our own sign, it does kind of give us that extra leadership, authority, taking matters into your own hands type of quality. So it doesn't seem like Capricorn is relying upon anyone else to get things done. I think you are taking a lot responsibility on your own shoulders. But because of that, because it is you the one that's doing it, you're going to be even that much more difficult to access, right? You're not just going to give yourself to just anybody. You don't normally do that anyway. I do think Capricorns have pretty strong boundaries for the most part, unless you've got like something else going on in your chart with like Neptune or Pisces or something. But for the most part, I think Capricorns are pretty good at that. But it's going to be kind of extra this month and even on into February as Mars continues in your sign. It'll be in your sign until February 13th, by the way. Okay. So we have Justice reversed, Eight of Swords. Okay. I don't mind the Justice reversed because it does feel like things do need to be kind of askew, meaning you might need to put more time and energy and effort into a specific area or a specific goal. So you got to kind of overload that goal if you want to see it through. And that may mean, I don't want to say sacrifice, but it may mean taking a little bit from another area of your life. This is temporary. It's not going to be long term, and it's not going to burn you out. But I do think you're going to have to say, all right, my scales can't be perfectly balanced right now. This whole idea of work-life balance, maybe it's just not the right time because I really want to get that done. I really want to pursue that. I really want to achieve that. That matters to me. And it's important for these other things I have going on. It's important that I do that because this relies upon that. So being clear with what's needing to be done is going to be, that's like your best friend, the clarity. Being clear. Now, if you don't have clear goals in terms of how you're going to go make all that money, let's say that for example, that's okay. You can have other kind of life goals. It can be that you want to do something with your health or do something with your friendships or do something with your dating life. Like whatever the case is, this is going to require a little bit more from you. And this process is going to kind of I'm kind of seeing freedom with this Eight of Swords. It's like the more you dedicate yourself to something, the more free you actually become. The more disciplined you are, the more focused you are, the more you kind of start to see things even that much more clearly. It's like you can't really understand it until you're in it. So you have to put yourself in it. It's like you can't understand what someone goes through on the playing field unless you're actually playing the game. So this feels like Capricorn is making a pretty big decision to get on that field and play the game. And the understanding of how that game is played or how those goals are achieved is going to come through the actual doing of things. Mars in Capricorn is a highly industrious placement, okay? And I know I'm really harping on that, and that's not the only thing going on this month, but it's just kind of the biggest one, I think, for you, that and Pluto leaving. But because Earth sign, you're an Earth sign, right, has a lot to do with working with material, working with the earth itself, which means you got to kind of get your hands dirty. I know we attribute action to the fire signs. I see way more action taking place in Earth signs, period. And Mars in an Earth sign, hands down, bar none, one of the absolute best time to get your hands dirty, to do the dirty work, okay? That's how you're going to see things. That's how you're going to see things clearly. That's how you're going to understand things. And the reason why I think this is important is because it does seem like you've hit a breaking point with something. You've hit this wall and you're saying, no more. I'm not going to deal with this anymore. I'm not going to put up with this. I'm not just going to accept it. I'm not going to settle, because perhaps you've reached that line between acceptance and settling, and you don't want to settle, right? There's a difference between those two things. With this card, it often feels like if you allow it to continue, then you are settling. And with the Ten of Coins present, tells me that's the last thing Capricorn wants. You're not wanting to settle because you know that there's more out there for you. Now, sometimes it's advisable to be, you know, when I say more, sometimes that feels a little quote-unquote anti-spiritual, although that's not my favorite phrase, but you know, it feels kind of anti-spiritual, where all the gurus are like, oh, you should just accept or whatever. I do think, though, as Jupiter came in through Aries, now it's in Taurus, it's going to make its way into Gemini later on in May. I just think this is a time where we are personally developing and growing, and we do want more from ourselves. And when we want more from ourselves, that inevitably leads to more from life, more material, more experiences, more freedom, more money, all those kinds of things. So just kind of keep that in mind too, that we're just given where Jupiter is, more is kind of just where he's leading us. So let's see. Final row for Capricorn. What else does Capricorn need to know here? Five of Cups. Ace of Wands reversed. Okay. The Ace of Wands reversed makes me feel like this isn't really a month of passion. It's not all about the feelings and the motivation and the excitement and all that rush of stuff. That may come once you see more progress. And when I pulled out this card, I was talking about just kind of doing one thing at a time and seeing results. And I think the passion and the excitement is going to come from seeing the results. Like that's where you're going to get the dopamine hit, right? Where you see the money come in, you see the people show up, you see things formulating, you see things come to completion. You're like, wow, okay, I really did that. I built that. And that's where the excitement and the passion is going to come from. And right now with that Nine of Wands, it's really not about passion so much as it is about duty and doing and fulfilling the duty and the promises that you've made to yourself and probably your loved ones. you know, or your employers or your clients or whomever. It's really not about the feelings right now. We don't have, we got a little bit in the water signs. We've got like Saturn in the water signs. Neptune's in there, of course, but for the most part, we're not really in that emotional place where we're being emotionally driven by things. I think it's more what needs to get done, and we do it regardless of how we feel. And with the Five of Cups, it tells me that, you know, there are things that are going to need to be let go, and I really like that together with the Eight of Swords, because as you go through this process of growth and learning and development, as you put yourself in this process purposefully, healing will happen naturally. Because as you start progressing and you learn the new lessons and you confront the fears and you solve new problems, you're going to start to release a lot that probably was keeping you back. You know, you were holding yourself back from doing it because of all these fears and insecurities and whatnot. So there's a massive healing opportunity for you to do this as well. This was a theme, I think, that came out in one of the readings a couple of months ago. I think it was Scorpio season, if I remember correctly. But it was very much do it first and then believe you can do it. You don't have to believe it first. You do it the other way around. You do it, you complete it, you put yourself through it, and then you'll start believing in yourself more and more and more and more. So if you're struggling with believing in yourself, the absolute best thing you can do is just start taking steps. Okay? And when I look at this Lovers reversed, it's telling me there does feel like communication is kind of off. Now, Mercury will be entering your sign. Right now, it's still in Sagittarius. It's finishing out its post-shadow phase from its retrograde that happened near the end of the year last year. Coming through that post-shadow phase, it's going to be re-entering Capricorn in January. And it just kind of feels like communication is still kind of off, especially with a Knight of Swords, especially when it comes to people that are not on the same page, not on the same wavelength, people who don't get it, people who are weak in character. You know, they're not going to handle the types of conversations that need to happen very well. They're not going to handle the depth, and they're not going to handle the requirements and the accountability. You know, this feels so squirmish to me, and this is the complete antithesis of what Capricorn represents. Right? Because Capricorn is one of those signs, very rarely can Capricorn run away. It's like life doesn't let them run away, ever. This is someone who runs away all the time, or gets scared all the time, or who's just skittish or slippery in general. And there does seem to be a massive incompatibility going on. And I do feel like you're not going to feel like they're hearing you when you talk to them. Now, this may not apply to everyone, but I am kind of seeing a breakdown of communication with the Lovers card. This is also a Gemini card, so we kind of have that Gemini communication theme going on. It also may represent someone who can't handle raw truths, which is what Capricorn or Mercury in Capricorn tends to deliver. Truth that kind of hits kind of hard. Capricorn is a sign of reality. People don't like to be hit with reality all the time. A lot of times people prefer to be in the delusion, and there's always a good time for delusion. I would say as we make our way through Aquarius and Pisces, delusion and dream is beautiful because it's what gets us into a bigger state, but we're just not there quite yet, okay? There also may be some kind of a choice that you need to make that might be a hard choice that maybe you avoid, or it just doesn't feel like the right time. Maybe you're feeling like things are kind of being held back. You're not excited about something. You're not feeling the way you think you should feel. You know, there's a myriad of things that this could be in terms of a choice. And if it's just really not the right time, then it's not the right time. And we can, you know, deal with that in a later time. And you can focus your energies on things that are beneficial and productive and help to enhance your life, and kind of focus on that. It may not be sexy, it may not be like feel like a soul's purpose or anything like that, but it might help you in this world. It may help you financially, it may help you with your career goals, it may help you with your relationship goals, and it can probably just be good for your life to do that, okay? So let's go ahead and pull out the clarifiers. So for those of you who are new, the cards I'm about to pull out are the cards we will cover in the comprehensive reading, and the link for that will be found in the description box down below. We usually talk for another 25 to 30 minutes, so it's kind of like we get a whole second reading, another 10 of coins, 10 of wands. We get kind of a whole second reading with these cards. So we're going to focus on that 9 of wands and a magician reversed. That kind of goes nicely with the ace of wands reversed as well. And for the 10 of coins, 2 of cups reversed, 6 of wands, and the tower. Kind of like the tower. Feels like a breakthrough. Ace of coins, 7 of wands, and a 3 of cups. The hermit. 7 of swords, and the sun. 9 of cups. Justice reversed again. Judgment. I love judgment with the tower. I love that combination. There might be a pretty substantial breakthrough or kind of an aha moment for yourself, which can always be really, really helpful. 5 of wands, Knight of wands, High priestess, Death, the Fool, the World, 3 of coins. Love the 3 of coins. 8 of even 8 of wands is reversed. It does tell me that this is not a month of huge leaps and bounds here. The moon, 10 of swords reversed, and the emperor. Okay, beautiful. So this is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive reading. So if you wish to join, you are more than welcome. Thank you all so much. Have an amazing January, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.